The Bible!
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the Gospel According to John, and today we're looking at Genesis chapter 10. Now, Genesis 10 is nothing but begats. It's an incredibly boring chapter, and I'm tempted to skip over it, but yeah. Anyway, so this one's nothing but begats, which probably goes a long way toward explaining why in all those wonderful illustrated versions that they made back in the day, you never see this scene all lithographed and whatever. But genealogy is really, really important, especially if you're trying to tie together two stories from two different cultures and make them mesh nicely while reinforcing your divine right to rule.
Hey, what are you implying?
Alright, so Japheth has 7 sons. Gomer, Magog, the golden-horned hero/villain from the comic book Kingdom Come.
Watch out, I'm horny.
Madai, Yavin, where the rebel base was in Star Wars. Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Only 2 of these guys have sons. Gomer, the Destructor.
The traveler has come.
And Yavin, who is father of, among others, the Rodanites.
Creonk!
Who apparently spread out and developed their own languages, which will be contradicted in the next chapter, but we'll get to that. So Ham, as previously mentioned, has a son, 4 actually now, all of whom have names which will be places later on, like, my ancestor's name was Egypt. What land are we in? Egypt? Oh, I guess that means I'm in charge. Yep, that's how divine heritage works. Anyway, so Ham has a son named Cush, who has a son named Nimrod,
Yes, fear the mighty unibrow.
who will also be mentioned briefly in the next chapter, and is pretty much the original badass. Verse 9 explains a colloquialism related to Nimrod that isn't exactly used anymore, but doesn't explain how Nimrod goes from meaning badass to dumbass.
Aww.
Goes on and on, describing the length and breadth of Nimrod's kingdom, naming off all these different Mesopotamian. I don't know what's up with my tongue tonight. And then abruptly segues back into begats. It's hard to place exactly what's going on here, as we suddenly go from talking about people to cities. Ham's son Canaan has a son named Sidon in verse 15, but by verse 19, Sidon is a city.
Whoop, there it is.
Divine heritage. Anyway, so the narrative in chapter 10 seems to just jump all around back and forth through time, leaving the reader to figure out where they are in the jumbled mess from one verse to the next. So now we list off Shem's sons, blah, 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 begat, and we close by once again mentioning that after a few generations and migrations, everyone speaks different languages, which is odd considering the next chapter.
I heard that.
And good God, no wonder most people skip this chapter. It was boring as hell. Begat. At least I wasn't reading it in Old English. Crying out loud. Anyway, so that's Genesis chapter 10. I really hope that 11's more interesting. Yep. This was the Gospel According to John. Thanks for tuning in.
The Bible!